Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous, and welcome to the Twin Peaks Watchalong for part 13. What story is that, Charlie? I am joined today by Mandy. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
So happy to have you here.
Yeah, I love these. I love these things.
All right, everybody, I'm going to start this in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm hitting play. And off it goes. All right. Showtime commercials. Ray Donovan starring Susan Sarandon.
Did you watch Ray Donovan?
I didn't, but Twin Peaks is now an hour earlier because of Ray Donovan. So
I'm good with that.
I guess I don't know. I have to watch it. It's like pure daylight outside. Twin Peaks comes on now. It's like 5 o'clock is for Three's Company reruns, not Twin Peaks. No. Alrighty. Showtime logo, and now Showtime presents.
Okay.
And we get some crazy Rancho Rosa. It's like green, red, black, and white. These title designs just scare the living daylights out of me. I have to say.
And really, we haven't seen any type of. There's no clues as to if they actually mean anything. Like, I don't know.
No, they don't. I mean, the only one that correlated really was part 8 because it wasn't black and white.
Yeah. But it's still fun.
Yeah, because there's somebody out there that is, collecting these things and finding the pattern.
Yeah, and just the fact too that the production team decided to make a new logo for every episode. I think or each part. I think it's kind of cool. It's different. Keeps you on your toes.
That this show definitely does. All right. I have to say, it takes a lot of skill to take opening credit music that I've heard a billion times and completely change the images over it for a new series. And yet they've done it, and I think they've done a great job. I mean, I love the fact that they bring the waterfall into the Black Lodge, and so it's really just kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, so this was surprising to me that the episode just began with the shot outside Dougie's work, and then the conga line.
This was so good, and the Nintendo music in the background, I love it.
Now, when you were watching this, were you thinking at all like, "Wow, this is over the top"?
Nope.
No.
This is David Lynch.
This is pure David Lynch. It is, and it is over the top, I think. But it's David Lynch doing over the top in the way that he knows how to do it.
Yeah, it was perfect. It's just what we needed. It's like the bouncing ball people in the lodge and all that kind of stuff, and the ragtime bands. It was perfect. We haven't had stuff like this, so I liked it a lot.
Oh, you mean like joy? Happiness?
Yeah, right.
There hasn't been a lot of that in this new series.
People happy?
Yeah, except Tom Sizemore. He's not happy. He's hiding for his dear life here. I love the fact that they bring tokens of gratitude.
Yeah.
And one of the unsung heroes of this series has to be Mr. Mullins. He's
incredible.
I mean, when he was first introduced, I was like, okay, he's a nice character, but he's much like the Mitchum brothers, much like Dougie. The more time I spend with these characters, the more I enjoy having them on screen.
Yeah. And the girls too. Like Candy's she's the cutest thing ever. She's so fun. She's doing such a good job.
Well, notice how she's like the only one that talks.
Yeah. She's the head bunny.
Exactly. I have to just say, shout out to Tom Sizemore. I think he did an amazing job in this episode.
Yeah, incredible. So yeah, this is a great episode. Every part of it is really, really good.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of criticisms in this new episode.
Yeah.
I think that this is literally like a perfect episode. And what's weird about it is there's it's not like there's like huge things that happen in this episode, but it's just perfectly written, acted, and directed. It's just from start to finish.
Yeah. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like all of it. It was just interesting.
So Anthony here calls Mr. Todd, who apparently, I don't know, like in German, I think Mr. Todd means Mr. Death. If you go by what Todd means, like, I don't know, but that's an interesting concept out there, if that is true. But this guy he just looks like a petrified man all the time at his desk. He's putting out the hits on Ike or having Ike go do the hits and stuff, and he seemed like he's on edge. But I think he works for Evil Cooper as well, right? So
yeah.
All right, so here's something that we all figured was going to happen, that Sonny Jim was going to get the gym set. And I love how Janie E just is continuously becoming more and more impressed with what having Dougie in her life means. Maybe this is why she overlooks escapades with Jade in his spare time.
Yeah, because that was kind of a big deal, but it didn't end up being a big deal to her. It was strange, but she's the one driving the new car, so.
Right. And we also get confirmation here about something that we've all been thinking, each and every one of us, that the timelines are mixed up. And when Sonny Jim is playing on the gymnasium, which has to be the most epic backyard gymnasium I've ever seen.
Yeah.
With the spotlight, of course. Janie says to Dougie that she was worried that because he had disappeared for 2 days. And keep in mind that in the last part, we saw Dougie playing catch with Sonny Jim. But when he comes back with the Mitchum brothers at the beginning of this episode, it's almost like after the restaurant scene. So, he didn't come home, play catch, and then go back out with the Mitchum brothers. So we've already had another displacement of time.
Mm-hmm. This spotlight actually scared me. I thought for a second, I was like, could that be another thing that wakes Dougie up? Like, is there, could the giant appear in the spotlight? Could he remember there being a spotlight?
Right.
And that doing something to him, but
nope. Well, it also scared me because Sonny Jim is jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, we're gonna get the jumping kid again.
Oh. Ooh.
Black dog runs at night.
Terrifying. Ooh.
All right, so now we're in Western Montana, and the doppelganger, again, we are dealing with displacements in time, so we don't know for a fact, but if you go by what we're being shown, the doppelganger is not in Twin Peaks. He's here. He's going to the farm to deal with Ray. And over here, playing Ray's boss is Derek Mears, who played Jason in the Friday the 13th 2009 film, which is great. That Evil Cooper is going to arm wrestle Jason in a minute. I thought this scene was so bizarre, so left field. Oh, by the way, the guy to the right of Ray, that is Frank Collison. He played he's been in a lot of things, but he was in Wild at Heart. He's the one in Big Tuna, Texas. It's like Robert Benton, that dumb fuck,
yeah,
stupid shit.
I like that guy a lot. He's one of those I've been in everything type of actors, and I really like him. And when actually I think we knew that he was going to be in this, and I was like, he would make a really great Bob if that's what they were going to do, because they have similar characteristics about them.
Right. So this scene is just so bizarre. So, the doppelganger's coming in there to get Ray, and then it culminates into this like arm wrestling scene. I love the fact that Ray pulls out a gun, by the way. I mean, the last time he pulled out a gun, the woodsmen all showed up. Is that what he wants? The woodsmen to all
Yeah.
show up here?
And that didn't really work out so good for him last time. So
No, but you know, this goes into like an arm wrestling situation, which I'm surprised Ray even allowed this to happen, because I mean, he's dealing with like dark forces here. You don't think dark forces could beat just like a simple man as the leader of a gang?
but do you think that this kind of confirms that Bob is still with Cooper? Because we never did actually see them take out the bubble.
No, he kind of peered out.
Yeah, kind of like just showing Ray, hey, this is what's actually here. Screw you, I'm going back in. You're not getting me.
But the things that we don't know is who are the woodsmen working for.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're working for the Black Lodge or whether they're working for their own.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But if I was Ray, I'd be peeing my pants right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is, I mean, he knows that this guy isn't just a regular dude, right? So why is he thinking that this gang of dudes with machine guns is gonna just be a protector, you know?
I was actually quite worried watching the scene. I was like, I don't know if I have a lot of confidence in Bad Coop to actually make it out of here. But
really,
as soon as he sat down and he looked at him, I was like, yeah, he's toast.
Well, see,
Jason is toast.
I just thought right off the bat we were gonna get like a massacre scene. And then when they did the arm wrestlings moment, I thought, oh well, this is, I mean, he's gonna just break his arm off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we didn't get that quite, but we got a good punch to the nose through the head.
It's perfect Lynch gore. I love Lynch gore. He's so subtle and disgusting with it.
But it also matches the character that Kyle is playing as well. Like, it's not just like over the top BS, you know? It's like, it's perfectly in character.
Yeah.
I love this kind of the guy in the back, the accountant guy.
The accountant.
And I just love the fact they got, one of the actors that portrayed Jason to do this, because
that dude is huge.
Oh yeah, but he's one of the nicest guys ever. And this sucker punch. I mean, I thought here the doppelganger was going to take him out right now.
Yeah, I was scared.
I mean, he just got sucker punched.
I love this scene. This is probably my favorite sequence of the whole episode. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I've seen it a few times now, and I still it's so captivating, everything that they're doing here and how the characters react to each other. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
What stands out to you the most?
The tension. I love the tension of it, and also the exchange with Ray too was just really interesting. It was getting into, original folklore and stuff like that, and highlighting new things that we're still not really sure about. So I don't know, the whole thing is just great. I just loved it.
Yeah, Kyle just is killing it as this character.
So good.
Yeah, I know.
And Ray is fantastic too. Like, the guy that plays Ray, he's does weird things on Instagram, but man alive, he can act. Like, he's really interesting to watch.
Well, he's playing like a Weasley type of character, but one that you kind of need to relate to a little bit, or understand at least the motivations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we know all of his motivations by the end of his fate in this episode. I think there's still a lot to be answered about what his character knew.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, maybe when they finally track down Philip Jeffries or whatever, we'll get some more story about it all. Like how did the doppelganger and Ray even get together?
Mm-hmm. And I hope that leads back to Beulah and her band of misfits, because I'd really like to see them again.
Oh, the people in the cabin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see them again. I loved Beulah. Like, I just want to hear her talk and say white trash things.
Yeah. This is so cool though. Starting positions.
And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh crap.
See, if I was Ray, I'd already be leaving. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know why Ray's even here.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, see, from Ray's point of view, or I don't know. I don't even understand like why Ray would even think that this guy has a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he saw like a creature come out of this guy's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Someone contacted me and said, Cameron, you were talking about with New York and the loft and bringing up David Cronenberg's The Fly. He goes, remember in The Fly, there was also an arm wrestling scene. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So I don't know. It's just coincidence, I'm sure, but it is kind of fun just to have all your favorite things all in one piece of entertainment.
Yeah.
I like how the doppelganger just lets him like, well, I'll let you take me here, take you down here, but no, I'll just bring you right back up.
It really hurt when you did that. Zoop, zoop. That's it. It's so intense. And like Kyle is not like emoting at all. You can't see any type of veins popping out of his head. He's just chilling.
There's
and
no
this
sweat.
guy's like all red and
yeah.
Look at that guy's neck. Jeez.
And Derek Mears is selling this, even though we all know that Kyle MacLachlan, no offense, couldn't stand a chance to really arm wrestle this guy.
Yeah. Love you, Kyle. Love you so much. But yeah, no.
Right. But I mean, this actor here, I mean, Derek is just like, I mean, he looks like he's really about to just pass out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Were you surprised that he killed him?
No. But I was surprised that the doppelganger, after he punched him, did look like he had a moment of anger in his face when he had no emotion all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think spirits from the Black Lodge have room for humor.
Yeah.
I love the fact. See, look at all these cell phones he collects. I mean, he's not going to be traceable for a while.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, why is the doppelganger still on this? I mean, I know he had a loose end maybe with Ray, but I mean, Dougie already got sent back to the lodge. So why does he need all this info still? I mean, isn't he free and clear? Didn't he make it out? He's not going to be pulled back in?
That's a good question. But I mean, there is well, yeah, because that's why Dougie was created, because he already knew that. Well, he didn't really know that Good Cooper was going to get out of the lodge, right?
No.
So unless he went,
have to say,
did he?
I
don't know.
I love this actor who plays Ray, but when he gets shot, that's like one of the funniest and silliest like dives to the ground I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. that was like a 7-year-old just going flying.
Yeah, it was like something out of West Side Story. That's a Russ Tamblyn and Richard Beamer reference for you as well. I love how the accountant's just like, do you need money? Yeah.
Such a stereotype.
And Ray is just like, I can't believe Ray is just like sitting there just taking this bullet and just like letting them have this conversation. I'd be like, what do you want?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good question. I mean, like, the doppelganger thinks that Good Cooper is stuck in the lodge, unless it has to do with like a 25-year thing. But he manufactured Dougie back in 1997, so I don't know. That is really confusing. What is his deal? What is he looking for?
Yeah.
What are these coordinates? I mean, I'm sure that he would. Well, would he even guess that it would bring him back to Twin Peaks? Are there multiple openings of the lodge?
Well, there has to be, because when he was in the car, the curtains appeared when he was in that car accident. So,
yeah, that's true.
All right. So Ray tells him that someone at the prison gave him the Al Cave ring. So I'm under the impression the one-armed man showed up as a guard and gave it to him. Considering that when the ring comes back to the Black Lodge, it is the one-armed man who puts it back on the table. I mean,
But
it's definitely
the purpose?
What do you mean? To slip it on the doppelganger's finger?
No. But why? Oh, right, because he tricked him. Okay. I see. Never mind.
I mean, it's definitely.
I just find it's
not,
interesting that Ray's going to end up Ray's in the lodge now. Like I didn't see that coming for nothing.
No, and it's like I said in my reaction video. I said, and he's bleeding too. So who mops up the Black Lodge?
Yeah.
This is interesting though. Every time they bring up the ring, I'm fascinated. Not so much by the mythology of it. I mean, I do care about that, obviously, but I'm fascinated because I'm watching Mark Frost trying to make sense of something that David Lynch just kind of casually brought up in Firewalk with Me.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I make this logically make sense in this world? Okay, and I think he's doing a nice job with it.
Oh yeah, this was this scene had a lot of really great dialogue in it. That was good at explaining some things.
Now, a lot of people are saying that this introduction of Richard Horne is suggesting, because he's with the group, that he's the doppelganger's son. I mean, but they didn't know the doppelganger was going to show up and be the leader of this thing. So, you know what I mean?
I mean, that was my initial reaction too. I was like, why would he be there? But the way he looks at him,
it's more of like it's more like an envious thing, not a dad.
See, and I didn't see it as being envious. I just saw it more like, who the hell is this guy and what is he doing? And is that the guy that I've been told about? And I guess he ran off. So he ended up in Western Montana. But yeah, I mean, what's his connection with any of this?
Well, you know how we've been talking about, like in the part one, the giant says Richard and Linda, and Cooper says, I understand. And one of the things that I've been throwing out is how does he meet Richard and Linda before he encounters with the giant? Well, maybe he doesn't encounter Richard. Maybe the doppelganger encounters with Richard, and when Cooper comes back, he has the memories of the doppelganger as well, because it is part of him.
Huh.
Just something that came to me.
Okay.
So here we go. We have more talk about Philip Jeffries. I have to say, I never in a million years, when this new series came out, ever expected Philip Jeffries to be this big of a character, even name dropped in this whole thing.
No, me neither.
I was hoping for some sort of recognition of the character somewhere in this series, but I didn't think the plot was going to be partly revolving around him.
Yeah, it was surprising, but good.
Some people have said the Alcave ring here, the symbol has changed, which definitely is different. So maybe there's multiple rings. Maybe it's not all the same ring. I don't think
it's the same to me.
It is different though. The design is different, and I mean, is there only one ring? Or look how the doppelganger looks through the camera at Richard. But and then see, he's bleeding. He's bleeding in the Black Lodge. Actually, no, it's kind of like frozen. It's like mud.
Yeah, and the last time, I mean, the only other person that we've seen bleed in there is Leland, when he was basically discarded because he wasn't needed anymore. No,
it's not. Actually, the ring does the ring looks a little different now in that table shot.
Okay.
No, because at the end of season 2, we saw Cooper and Annie and Caroline laying on the ground with the wounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Now this scene just cracked me up when you hear like this,
oh my gosh,
this woman prisoner, like just like all hell happening in the next room, and they're just kind of eating their lunch, like, they're on break.
Yeah. And it's so intense and so loud. She is screaming bloody murder. Like, oh my
Yes,
gosh, it's so funny.
but much like the car explosion in Rancho Rosa, off screen.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
that's part of the joke here, but it is kind of a great way to get around budget. You know, like he didn't have to film any of that; he just filmed it off screen.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, F you Twinkies. What do you think about the Fusco brothers?
I love them. I want them to have their own comedy sitcom after this. I love them. I love
Don't encourage on the air too with these three cops, please, please.
I honestly have never seen On the Air because it was so long ago. We didn't have video. It wasn't even on TV for like what, like 2 weeks or something.
It's probably on YouTube.
Yeah. But no, I love this guy, the guy that plays Todd Packer from The Office.
Right.
He cracks me up. And the other guy too, the youngest one,
Mm-hmm.
he's flipping hilarious.
So they find out here that Dougie is not only a FBI agent, he's also a man who escaped prison.
Yeah.
Then they're just like, what the heck?
And they just discard it. They're like, nah, that's dumb. Throws it in the garbage.
See, I was surprised to see Anthony, Tom Sizemore's character, show up here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you're like, oh my goodness, all the characters are kind of coming into it. And this actor, John Savage, someone we haven't seen in a while, but let's just be honest here. It seems very apparent that Tom Sizemore is not going to last too long in this series.
No, no.
Even after the awesomeness that happens in this episode, I have a feeling these cops are going to end up taking him out or something, because there's sinister plans happening around him.
Yeah, and they've actually. I'm really confused as to the whole Tony storyline altogether. Like at this point, when he's talking to John Savage, it seems like he's like a CI, but later when they're in Bushnell's office and he's talking about testifying against the two cops, which I'm assuming are these guys, but then there's Mr. Todd thrown in there, and I don't know. Have you found the Tony plot and how it all pieces together? Have you found that confusing, or is it just me?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't even really put a lot of thought into it. I just let it unfold because there's other storylines that I'm more focused on. If I don't get an answer to this story, I'm okay, you know.
Yeah, that's true. He'll die at some point and it'll be like whatever. But Tom Sizemore, he's fantastic. What a good actor. Holy crap.
Yeah, and definitely taking the character and the situation into areas that I didn't expect. You know, like kind of like when we said, "Oh, Ray's going to be a goner," and then Ray shot Cooper, and or the doppelganger, and we got part 8, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is we think, oh my god, he's gonna poison Dougie, and then it completely changes. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Here is Hutch and Chantel. Somebody got upset with me the other day saying that that Chantel only eats Cheetos and not potato chips, and they were mad at me that I said that she was eating potato chips. They said it's Cheetos, and my comment to that was, well, Cheetos is in the potato chip aisle, and I was just saying chips as you know. Anyway,
but they're very distinctive.
Okay,
they're
fine.
either cheesies or they're chips.
I understand. Lynch fans are obsessives. Sorry, everybody, that I said chips instead of Cheetos.
This was a weird little scene.
It is, because it's just kind of thrown in there, but I like the two actors, so I'm good with it. Look, Janie E is just so happy with her brand new car.
I would glow in a car like that too, so that's crazy.
Yeah, because she knows Dougie's never going to drive it.
Yeah. Oh, Dougie, we love you so much. That was really mean, this coming up scene where he crashes into the door. That was cruel.
You think that was
not like that?
You think that was a bad taste in humor?
Yeah, I mean, it was really funny. I laughed so much, but then I was like, "Oh, Dougie, you can't help being ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, there's this thing going around online where people aren't referring to him anymore as Special Agent Dale Cooper. Some people are referring to him now as Special Education Dale Cooper. It's so,
right.
oh my Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he walks into the door, to me, it's hilarious. But at the same time, though, it's like because we know Dougie and we love him so much, it's sad.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. There he goes.
Oh yeah, that's take 25.
And even yeah, right. Even Sizemore's like, this guy can't even open a door. How did he bring me down?
Yeah.
How has Dougie gone to work for this last? I mean, what are we at, like a week and a half at this point? Week and a half, 2 weeks?
I don't know.
How has he never had to open a door?
Because he always goes in with the coffee man.
Well, that's true. Where's Phil?
I don't know. Just kind of in a way, I think we're all kind of like Dougie. We're all just like blindly just getting up in the morning, walking around, going to work.
And our eyes only lighting up with the promise of coffee.
Yeah, maybe this is Lynch's commentary on us going to work like drones. Yeah. Now, this is the only thing my wife didn't like. She's like, "There's no coffee shop anymore that delivers mugs to you."
That is not true. At least
I know.
up here, there are.
I know it's not true, but that was the first thing she was like, "What on earth? They don't do this in Vegas."
What I wish they would have done though is use the takeout cups so that you could see the Z on the cups so that there's a connection.
Right.
Because I'm assuming that that's the same coffee shop that Tracy worked at, not in a different city, area. Obviously, but like a franchise, but because it has the big Z.
Right. So. And we do get talk about franchises in this episode. Now this we do remember a couple weeks ago I mentioned the fact that Peggy Lipton tweeted out that these were Norma's pies from the Double R Diner. And you're all, that is weird. How would they do that? And in this episode, we get an answer how that's happening.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not using the same ingredients, which to me says why the pie didn't help wake Cooper up, because it's not actually Norma's pies.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it all connects together.
It does, and I'm actually pretty curious as to how this pie thing is going to play out too. That if there is an actual secret ingredient or ingredient from the actual town of Twin Peaks that could spark something in Cooper once he gets a real Norma pie. I don't know. That was weird though.
Well, some people have mentioned that whole Norma scene with the guy from Eight Is Enough is basically Lynch and Frost talking to executives about how we can do things cheaper and more expensive.
That's funny. Yeah.
Now, in my instant reaction, I said the words, I think I said dust or something like that. And everyone started yelling at me, "It's dandruff. It's dandruff." And I was like, okay, guys, I'm just like throwing words out at the, like right after watching the episode. I'm not going to be able to analyze everything. And no, I don't have a lot of experience with dandruff. So because honestly, I didn't know if it was dandruff. I said dust because it looked like the sparkly things that he was seeing on his papers at his home, and I thought maybe it was like glitter dust or something that he was seeing, But
I thought that this is just a really. I like the way they executed this about how Dougie's just so focused on what's right in front of him and sees dandruff and he's like, ooh, let me touch this. And it completely breaks Tom Sizemore down because he thinks that he's like, massaging him or whatever. And it's, I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious how this
But it
this
comes
all
out of
played out.
but it comes out of left field. Like you cannot predict that Sizemore was going to have to kill him like this and then completely change his
Yeah.
way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of people get down on this movie, but in a way, it is sort of like a Forrest Gump type of thing where Dougie is just Dougie. He's consistent, and everything around him in the world is changing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's just sitting there, just watching him chewing his
But look at
pie.
this. Look at the storm coming in. It's
Mm-hmm.
bad news. Bad news. Okay, so first of all, look at this like soda fountain over there. That Coke. They got a high C lemonade. Oh, and Sprite, root beer. Man, the Double R Diner is really just changing everything. Anyway, so Becky calls and she's crying about Steven being gone. They got pizza over there too. So my question to you is, some people are saying this is another time displacement thing, that this is actually happening before Becky went and shot the door, because she's not staying at Shelley's house. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, that's what I originally thought, that it was, or no, I didn't think anything until Bobby comes in later. And then once Bobby gives his line of,
Right.
Well, today was, which we'll get to, but I mean,
well, he arrives and Becky's not there. Shelley's not there. So it seems, you know what I mean? Like here we have a scene, like, why don't you come in and have, this pie and that type of thing. So you think when Bobby comes in, they would be there, but they're not there.
mm-hmm.
So my question is, do you think that this was written this way? Or do you think in editing, Lynch decided to just start messing around with the episodes and putting them out of order?
I think Lynch is too kind of OCD with his projects to just start jumbling once it's already in his mind what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he would. I would hope not. It seems like that's what's happened, but I think, I mean, again, we're not going to be able to judge anything until it's done, and yeah, no, I think that he's got, and him and Mark Frost too. Like, I don't mention Mark Frost enough, but obviously I need to. I think they had a very clear line as to where they were going, and how that was going to look, and they knew that it was going to look different. So what do you think?
It could go either way, because I mean, a lot of the main storylines are kind of moving in a through line, but there's a lot of the Twin Peaks stuff that is just kind of here, there, and everywhere. And I could see them going, well, this would work better over here, and this would work better over here, and we're doing a time displacement thing anyway, so it would make sense in the long run. So mm-hmm. I could see it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
So this to me is like a great moment here, where you have Mullins and Anthony just going at it, just two shots, two actors just allowed to act.
And for a second, I thought Mullins was going to have a heart attack. I was like, oh no, don't die. Because he was so mad and he got all red. And it's like, in movies, that's always when the older person topples over with the heart attack. So, but
yeah,
fighting Dawn it's good to go.
Yeah, and maybe maybe we'll see him in his old boxing days later in this episode. We'll have to keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
So these are two actors that people have not seen act in a while. I mean, Sizemore's been off the radar for a while. Don Murray hasn't acted in many, many years. So just to bring these two actors and allow them to have several minutes of, and it was Dougie just commenting in the background is just fantastic. But allowing these two actors to really kind of shine and giving them performances that I honestly think will get them more work.
I would hope so. Especially, well, I mean, yeah, both of them. Like, Tom Sizemore has always been talented. His personal life just overshadowed his acting ability. And I mean, Don Murray, honestly, I'd never heard of him before, but he was big in like the 40s and 50s and stuff. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's fantastic. I just love it.
But that's something that Frost and Lynch did from the very beginning with this show, was bring people back from the past. So here comes Bobby later in the night here, and we're gonna get our reveal of Ed and Norma. And Bobby says that he got something from his dad today, which obviously today wasn't the day that he went to his mom's house and got the thing from the chair. So yeah, it's interesting. Now I have to say, much like finding out that Bobby and Shelley weren't together anymore, this broke my heart. I don't know about you, Mandy, that Ed and Norma were not together either.
Yeah. But I didn't like how they just casually panned over, and it's kind of like with Audrey. It's just like, bam, there was Audrey. Then you pan over, and then there's Ed, and I'm like,
no, I'm okay with that, because at least it was a pan over. Audrey was just a hard cut.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, this was like, come on, people. Like, how have you not gotten your stuff together? It's been, I mean, they're working on like 40 years now of trying to be together.
Right. And at the end of towards the end of season 2, they were together until Nadine woke up. Look at this booth here. It's like, it's not just Norma doing paperwork in a booth. It's like her office. She's got a phone there and everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then she's like, I'll go get your dinner, Ed. And it's like, oh, she's taking care of her man. That's so cute. Nope. She's just doing what she does.
Yeah, this is trolling.
And Bobby just says there, you want me to move to another booth? So does nobody know that they're not together then?
I don't know. And just think, 25 years ago, Bobby was yelling at him, "Take this, Mr. Monkey Wrench," and hitting him in the head.
Oh, yeah.
And here is Grant Goodeve from 8 is Enough. Another actor, much like the was it Lauren Toos from The Love Boat? But at least he gets like kind of an actual like part.
Yeah.
And here we find out that apparently the Double R is not doing very well, and the other franchises are doing better. And it all comes down to the name, apparently. Norma's Double R Diner. Honestly, I didn't understand Norma's being upset about the name, because it's just one more word. Norma's Double R Diner. It sounds like the same thing to me.
But it's not.
But it is.
It's not. I
mean, it's not, Norma Stupendous Diner for everybody or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the Double R Diner just with Norma in front.
Yeah.
But she's a traditionalist, so.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, let me tell you something. No one does Romantic Longing better than Everett McGill.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh. I wish that he had been in sooner, because I really like just his presence. I wish that they would have done more with him over longer periods of time.
It's very much like, I know it sounds weird, but to use another like Buffy reference, Everett McGill, Big Ed, to me is like Giles. When he's on screen, Dad's home, and and everything's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like in the pilot, when Donna's talking to him, and Mike shows up, and get in the car right now, Donna. And all this stuff. I mean, he's just like, muffle it, Junior.
Yeah.
I mean, you just knew that this guy was not going to let Donna get in that car with that kid.
Yeah. And the fact too that he goes to the Roadhouse because he's read the note, and he's watching out for the kids too, and sneaking a little on the side or whatever, but he's still he's just a good guy.
And I also love it in the funeral episode where he says, when Agent Cooper says, "Ed, isn't this out of your jurisdiction?" He goes, "When someone's selling drugs to high school students, I figure that's everyone's jurisdiction."
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like, here is an example of a long scene. I'm sure there's gonna be people out there who'd be like, no, but this is in my opinion, this is an example of a long scene that Lynch and Frost do about something that you can care about or not care about. All right. But at least we know what they're talking about. And there's some context to it and we understand it. And we have, while this is going on, we have Big Ed constantly in the background.
Yeah.
And so you feel this dramatic tension between what Norma's going through, what Ed is looking at. So it totally works as a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I've warmed to the Audrey scene in the other episode, but this is the difference between confusing people and making them go, okay, like I don't even know if I like this moment, the scene. I don't care about the predicament of Audrey's life. I just don't, it's just the scene itself was just seemed haphazard. This is, to me, this is how you do it.
Oh, Ed. Oh my gosh, I love this part.
With Jacoby.
Yeah, it's so cute.
So do you think they're dating?
Not at this point, but I think it seems like it could lead to that. Because he hasn't seen her in 7 years.
Right. And we know that
how, I have no idea.
now
but
they don't show it to us here, but in reality, this the storefront is directly across the street from the diner.
Yeah.
So it's like implicating that she's keeping her eye on Ed and Norma. However, do you even think that Ed and Nadine are still together? I don't think so. At least by what we see towards the end, I don't believe it.
Well, yeah, because the only times we've seen Nadine is when she's in her store, which we now know is her store, and she's always there. And Ed, now he's just sitting eating cup of soup and at his gas station. So it doesn't seem like, again, we're not going to people's houses anymore. The only house that we really go to is
Laura's.
Well, that and like Dougie's and the Mitchum brothers. Have we been to any other home in Twin Peaks apart from
Jacoby's
Ashley
trailer?
Judd's? Well, yeah, but that's just a dive. So, but yeah, it's different. It's weird. And of course, everybody watching this could have mouthed the words completely silent when she started talking. That was just a given. It was beautiful.
I wish in the window you would see like the Double R diner though. Or is that the diner right there behind Jacoby? In the window?
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
Because it literally is directly across the street. So, and that building's been empty for years. Every time I've been down there, it's been empty.
But why is Jacoby dressed like someone out of Deliverance or something? I mean, like, I remember at the end of season 2 in the last episode when he shows up at the diner with Sarah, he's like dressed in like this cloak with this like hat. Yeah, I know this is 25 years later, but I just never thought Jacoby would just
look like a farmer.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, yeah, I mean, something has obviously happened to him. He's not practicing. He's
do you think the Laura Palmer situation got him out of where he couldn't practice anymore? Do you think that's the reason?
I don't know. I mean, wasn't it only in the diary that she talks about actually sleeping with him, or did she ever sleep with him? I thought she didn't.
Okay. Well, I was always under the impression they had.
And maybe they have, but I think they touch on it in the diary, but I can't remember which way, if it's actually that they did or they didn't. Or that he just wants to and she knows that she's never going to do it or something like that.
Right. All right. So let's talk about this crazy scene. First of all, cigarettes everywhere. On the table over there, there's the awesome Cheryl Lee, Lara Flynn Boyle picture. So Donna is acknowledged in photo form, at least.
And Cheryl Lee's kid picture is back there too, which I like. It's a nice touch. Mm-hmm. The one at the back with the pigtails.
Right. So do you think the boxing match she's watching is Bushnell Mullen's early days? It seems Like, come on, like it has to be, right? I mean, considering that we're getting that poster all the time,
I would think so,
right? And
because why would they? There's too much referencing to boxing. So
we had I mentioned on the instant reactions of all the static and everything going on with the TV, and then it was quickly pointed out to me because I was too busy watching Sarah and what she was doing. I didn't even realize that the TV was on like repeat.
yeah, I didn't either until the second time I watched it, because I was like, what? The static was starting to really grate on me, and I didn't know if something else was happening. And the way that they'd pan into the TV, and it was a different, they'd move the camera down a little bit,
But
and they
look
show it
down,
again, and it's
but look down at by Sarah's feet or on the stool. Is that cream corn on that plate?
oh, I gotta, oh my gosh, I have to take my captions off. My gosh, I'm gonna freak out if it is.
It looks
Oh,
like it.
oh, oh my gosh.
Sure looks like it to me.
Oh,
Sarah Palmer has become Mrs. Dreamin'.
she's gonna kidnap that bag boy and make him her grandson.
Oh boy. All right, now let's talk about this Audrey scene. I've had a lot of people write in and say, see everybody, if you were patient with the first Audrey scene, then you see the payoff here. No, what I'm saying is I think this is a good Audrey scene. I think this is how you do it. I think the previous scene, I've made peace with it. It's fine. But this is the Audrey scene that I was hoping to see, you giving the same things, her and another actor in one room talking. But this scene actually has like dramatic tension and character to it, and not just a bunch of back and forth, 15 million names being thrown at you. Did you did you think this scene worked better?
Oh, absolutely.
One, it's shorter, right? So
it's shorter, but she's so good in
right.
this scene and so talented that I almost like, I was getting really worked up with her too while she's talking, and he's like cool as a cucumber, and she's so frantic that I could feel it. So and I just appreciated the dialogue more because it was a better dialogue. It was a better story in this scene than it was in last week's.
It wasn't just her berating him with just a bunch of silly insults, and it looked like she was trying too hard. Whereas this, she's actually like, she's fully invested in this scene. And it really scares me to death that she doesn't know where the roadhouse is, and he talks about he's going to end her story, and the fact that in the previous episode Sarah tells Hawk, this is a bad kind of story. That's a
bad story.
Right. So what is going on here? I'm going to end your story. What does that mean? Like break her out of reality? I mean, some people are thinking she's in a coma. I don't believe that for an instant. That like we're not going to be dealing with like, I'd be surprised if we're dealing with another layer of of time displacement.
So what is it then? I mean, what are your initial, because it does seem like she's having a psychotic break,
right,
but one that has been continuing for a very, very long time. Like she keeps getting pulled back into.
But is she in like a hospital, like a housing hospital, or did she have a nervous breakdown because of Richard? Because they don't mention Richard, they don't mention her family at all. Like she just seems isolated from everybody.
Well, yeah, nobody talks about her. Nobody's mentioned her.
Right.
She is very isolated, and she's not wearing a wedding ring either. So I think the marriage obviously is just something different.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
okay, so I knew that something big was going to happen because they had the announcer this time, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's going to be Eddie Vedder. Pearl Jam. The Roadhouse presents Pearl Jam.
Nope.
I screamed so much at this. I was like, oh, James, that's so cute. And the first note, I freaked out. Completely freaked out. This is the weirdest scene. I have no idea why they did it, and I loved every second of it.
Some people said, "Oh, everyone thinks that Lynch and Frost are trolling with the Audrey scene." No, they were trolling us here. And yeah, I think they are having a little bit of fun at the James haters. But at the same time, though, why not? It totally works. And I mean, it is bizarre that, he's still playing the same song from 25 years ago, and he's replaced Donna and Madeline with just two like throwaway backup singers.
With zombies, they like these girls are freaky. The one on the right there, I was like,
Yeah.
how does she stand up with those eyelashes? Like, I think that she would topple forward.
Well, the thing that throws me off is that the crowd shots are, the same crowd shots from part 2 when the chromatics are playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Oh.
again, with the time displacement, is it just Lynch just using a crowd shot, or is he suggesting this is the same night that James and his friend come into the bar? Like, do they play after the chromatics? And
well, Renee is wearing a different shirt.
Okay. Then no.
Yeah. But they've obviously very clearly shown her tattoo.
Right.
Both of them. She has a rose here and then the numbers here. So I wonder if that's going to be something.
Because they could have covered it up. And some people have taken stills, and I don't see it, but some people have thrown out stills saying that she's got bruises on her neck. But I think that's just shadows, people. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to throw in some Renee abuse in the last 5 episodes of Twin Peaks. But
yeah, probably not. They could have started that in episode 2 when she first showed up. So
right. And I love the fact that like they're doing this like recall of the song, and she's crying listening to the song, and we don't even know who she's at the bar with. She keeps talking and laughing with somebody. I was hoping
and she just clinked glasses with someone too.
Right. So obviously she's not there with a boyfriend, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
I was hoping, and I know why they didn't, but I was kind of hoping with the song that we were gonna get maybe a flashback or two of him and Laura, or him and Donna, or something, but then that would take away from him singing to Renee.
Yeah, but that would have been sweet. If you're gonna go this nostalgic, yeah, throw in a couple of images, but the Donna stuff, I mean, they can't really show Donna at this point because
they'd have to pay
credit Laura from Boyle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can you please tell me about this? You were telling me that this is not the same Big Ed's gas farm.
No, it can't be. The original Big Ed's gas farm, obviously from the pilot, most people will recognize their house is literally right across the street, and it's a very small street. And I was there at the same time when I was watching all the Fat Trout stuff, and the building for Big Ed's was all like black and brown. It looked like it had been burned, but I think it was just painted brown over the years. And this one here, you can see that there's some sort of industrial crate-like building across the street, and it's just bigger and it's white and stuff like that. And again, like, I was around the time that they were filming, so unless they put a cover in front of it, I don't know, but it just seemed.
Isn't it so sad
very different
with him just sitting there all alone drinking from the double R to go cups? And
it's terrible.
And
anybody that has to resort to eating cup of soup that's a sad lot. It's terrible.
Well, do you think that the original Big Ed's gas farm was like that because did they film the convenience store stuff from part 8 there when the woodsmen were going in and out of the building? Was that Big Ed's gas farm? It sure looked like it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
And what is he burning here? At first I thought he was burning the matchbook, but I just realized he put the matchbook down, so he's burning like a.
No, I think he ripped the cover off it. I think.
Oh, okay. Some people were thinking it was like a note to Norma, and I was like, that's a little note to Norma.
Yeah. Someone put on someone did a little limerick, a little fire walk with me limerick about this scene, and it was flippin' hilarious. I wish I had saved it somewhere to repeat it, but it was all about Big Ed and his longing for Norman. If you can find it, I'll try to find it and tell you. It's hilarious. But yeah, poor
I thought
Ed.
I thought this is an insane and very sad and fascinating way to end this part.
Mm-hmm.
Closing it out with Big Ed like this.
Oh, he's got a wedding ring on.
Hmm. So he's still with Nadine, maybe, and they just I would find it hard to believe that after 25 years that he wouldn't have left. But
I
who
mean,
knows?
they're just they've always been a very sad couple.
Yeah.
You know, that whole triangle was just sad, and it's I wish that I don't want to see that it's still a thing after all these years. It's like
But it
you've
is.
wasted
We've
you've
already seen it.
yeah, but they've wasted their whole lives being unhappy, and that
And,
sucks.
and what was fascinating is that in the original series, they were already talking about that they had wasted so much of their life on this thing.
Yeah,
And
and it's
now,
still going on. Yeah, it's just too bad. And I still really want to see Chris Mulkey. I love Chris Mulkey. I want to see Hank. I want to have something to do with Hank, but
and honestly,
I'm
it made sense to have him come back at some point because of the fact that he was going to jail for 25 years at the end of season 2. So
mhm.
it just kind of, again, just made everything kind of come together. So overall, Mandy, what did you think of this episode?
I loved it. I loved it. It had a good pacing to it. The only kind of quieter part was Norma talking about her pies, but it was still interesting because we don't hear dialogue from Peggy Lipton ever, and she's a really good actress. So I wanted to see her do something instead of just stare at Shelley all the time. So like, just mind your own business, for goodness sakes.
It wasn't even,
So yeah, no,
it wasn't just the fact that she was staring at Shelley. It looked like jealous lover staring. you know,
every once
it,
in a while it's just like,
it was
come
weird.
on, Norma. But yeah, no, I love this episode. It's not one of my favorites, but I'm putting that in the top 5 at least. So
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I wouldn't say like I don't know. I wouldn't tell someone out of all the episodes of this new Twin Peaks, you have to see part 13. It's just, it's just I just think that as an individual hour of television, it was just wonderfully written, acted, and directed, and there was nothing in it, nothing in it I could really complain about.
yeah,
I can make fun of Ray rolling around on the ground or whatever, but that's a small little funny little quip. That's not a serious complaint,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
And
overall,
the James thing too, right? Like, as cheesy as it was, you still enjoyed the fact that they did that, right?
no, I think it was fantastic. I mean, I didn't even think about Lynch and Frost trolling people with it until after I started reading comments about it. I was just thinking that's a wonderful way to kind of bring back the nostalgia after an entire hour of new stuff. Like this is not a series where it's Lynch and Frost just catering to the fans and just giving us stuff, but they gave us an hour amount of new material and then closed it out with something that we remember from the past. So it kind
Yeah.
of helped bridge the new and old together in just a really fun new way.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was nostalgic, but it was just, we've been watching all these bands at the end that we have no relationship to close out each part, and now we have a song that closes out the episode of something that we do recognize, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
pulling the show closer to our hearts, and then
Yeah.
going from that to Big Ed, just brokenhearted for the dream of the brokenhearted, as the Industrial Symphony #1 is subtitled. It just, that it going from James's song about longing to Ed just sitting there brokenhearted.
Yeah.
I can't ask for a more perfect closing out of, part 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. No, this is a great show. They're doing great things with it. you know, we can nitpick here and there and stuff, but overall, like, we're never going to see anything like this again. And it's fantastic, and we're very fortunate to be in this time right now where we get to experience this.